What's up, YouTube? 3 Pedal J, and I'm back in my garage. I haven't said that in a while. I've been on the road a little bit, doing a bunch of different stuff. If you guys have been following and you guys have been watching my videos, you'll see I've been doing some cool things. So I'm back from Rocky Mountain Race Week, and I decided it's time to get after it on my stuff. But before I could do that, buddy reached out to me asking me if I had some stuff that he needs, and turns out I have lots of them. So I'm cleaning up some pistons right now, and then obviously I have, well, I shouldn't say obviously, I'm sorry. I'm cleaning up some pistons right now. I've got to get them ready to ship. I'm going to ship them out in the morning. It is so hot here in Maryland. It's 8:30 and it's like 100 degrees still. I just got to make sure that all these 8 are good and that they're 4 driver, 4 passenger side ones. I've got plenty. Here's my storage bin of 6.4 pistons. So I buy 6.4s whenever I can afford to find a good deal with blown pistons or problematic pistons, and I save a bunch of them. Sometimes I get great deals on complete 6.4s, and I save pistons because I always put my own forge set in. I've never done drop-ins, so I'll say I do my own custom rod and piston length. Or piston and rod length. Wow, it's been a while since I spoke to you guys, and so on and so forth. So I prefer forged pistons over stock pistons because I'm always boosting, or at a very minimum using nitrous, more likely boosting. So here we go with preparing this guy for shipping. That's just a fitment right there. I can get 4 in on the first level, and then I can layer it, and hopefully I can get the second 4 in there if I position everything right. So that is my goal, is to get everything in there and positioned correctly. And then I can take that to the post office in the morning. But then we have this guy. This guy is all of the stuff to get the short block done. So the crank is back. These are not the stuff that's going in there. This is just a bunch of used stuff. I've got the rod, the bearings. I've got the rods are here. Well, this specific rod is here. I've got the remainder of the piston is here. This was sent off to Clinton for balancing. Here's the piston. Everything's all brand new. Then we got the Molnar rods, which is what this deal is. Molnar rod. We got the actual box. We got the ARP main stud kit came in, and that's what I needed to get this deal ready. So as you can see, I sealed it all up to keep any dust and debris from getting in here. Here are the remaining the remaining bolts for the factory caps, for the main caps in the factory. I think they might even be the main caps. Let's open it up and see. Oh, there we go. They're the mains. They're the VVT solenoid and all of the things that I'd never even opened this up. This is all from when Clinton went in. I brought this to them, and I had the block cleaned up. I forgot to take all of that stuff off and leave it here, so that's why it's in that box. So they obviously dismantled it for me, cleaned it up, bored it, stroked it. Here's our bill of health. Pistons weigh 445.5. The wrist pin is 137. That's grams. The locks are 4 grams. Wow, they're heavier than I thought. There's no oil squirters. The rings are 30 grams. Connecting rods are on the big end. On the small end is 200. On the big end is 494. Rod bearings 43.4. Oil is 40. Total bob weight of this deal is 1,896 grams. This is a 5.7 build, forged bottom end. Couple surprises, but unfortunately this deal, because I had to turn this down to the journals were turned. Let me see if I still have this information on here. Yeah, here we go. So I took this to a different machine shop. This crank, it's been a lot. This crank came from it came from an engine that I had here, but I sent it to M&O Machine. They deal specifically with crankshaft machining here in Maryland. They're out of Bladensburg, and they took the standard Chrysler Hemi main journals, which are 2/125. They took it down to a 2/100. So this is now set up for a Chevy journal. And I'm sorry, I said mains, rod journals. Rod journals. I'll make sure that I put that up in the description. So my rod journals were turned to a 2/100, which is a Chevy rod journal. And that was done because these Molnar rods that I have here, grab one again, it's set up for a Hemi rod, but it has a Chevy rod journal end. So you might be wondering, well, Jay, why did you do that? The reason I did that is because this is actually a 6.4 crank. And I had this deck, this block needed some machining. So the deck was taken from a from a 925 deck height to a 924 deck height. So what that means is if I had to use the standard 6.4 rod, which was my intention, I have them over there. Here's the wrist pins for those said rods. They're over here. Let's see if I can find them. These are, where did I put those rods at? Interesting. I lost the rods. Well, they're not lost. They're here. I just gotta look for them, and I'm trying to do this video. I'm trying to get this video out. I have these forged Manley rods. Where the hell did I put them at? That's very interesting. I'm a little bit upset with myself right now. Oh, bam. There they are. I know I have them. They're in here. Manley rods are in there. So I have those, and what I was gonna do is I was gonna use those with the crank, but because the block deck was so bad, this is one of the popcorn tune blocks that I got, and I did a huge rant on. It's either rant 1 or rant 2. I don't remember what it was, but I did a rant on it, and long story short, the block was pretty bad. So they had to take 7/1000 out of it to clean it up. So the deck is 9243. So with that being said, I had to make my piston rod length a 924, so that it doesn't stick out of the deck and cause piston valve interference. As y'all know, if you guys have seen any of my videos, you've seen that I've had some issues with piston valve interference before. All completely my own fault. Never machine work that was shoddy or anything. All because I didn't either tighten up the timing tensioner chain enough and it lost timing or what have you. It was always my fault. So my machinist taught me how to do the calculations to get the right rod length. So I have a 6175 rod as opposed to a 6200 that the 6.4 uses, and then the 5.7 uses a 6.244 rod. So it's like roughly 4,000 or 5,000 shorter for the stroke, which you have to compensate. When you go for up in stroke, you have to go down in rod length for a correct rod angle ratio. But with all of that said, I'm going to get these pistons cleaned up as such. This one's starting to come together, labeled passenger, driver, and then I'm gonna get them boxed up. As you can see, I started doing that, and I'm gonna send them out to my buddy. He's already paid me for them, so I want to get these out first thing in the morning, and then we will start the assembling process of the not stopgap 5.7. This is going to be the 5.7 prior to the final boss 6.4. So I don't know. Help me come up with a name in the comments of what I should name this 5.7. It's, I don't know, a 5.7. It's really a 6 liter. It's really a 6.1. It's going to be a 6.1 VVT after you do all the calculations with the bore and the stroke. And yeah, that's gonna end up making it roughly 364, 366 cubic inches, which is right in between a 6 liter and a 6.1 liter. So I round up because who doesn't round up? And I'd rather have a Mopar 6.1 as opposed to a 6 liter. That's a GM deal, and y'all know by now that I'm really not a fan of GM Ford. So yeah, but that's where we're at with Frankenstein. I've done a lot of things in the last few days. I haven't talked about Frankenstein. What we're gonna do is we're gonna assemble the engine, and then we're also gonna start the teardown. So as you can see, the only thing that I did with Frankenstein is I literally came in and unhooked the injectors, the coils. I took off the vacuum block. I still have to do a lot back here. I still have to remove this catch can. I still have to remove the engine, the radiator. I still got to do the entire intercooler setup, all the turbo piping, all the turbo setup. Obviously, I have to pull the heads. I have to pull the entire engine assembly, which means I got to disconnect the clutch. I got to disconnect the bell housing and the transmission. And then once I get all that done, I've got a bunch of projects to complete. So, for instance, when the transmission is done, I've been messing around with a mounting setup for the pump, and I settled on this style of a setup. This is literally just in a piece of aluminum stock, and the flow, it comes in from the bottom of the transmission, goes up, it'll 90, and then it'll come into this deal, which is the filter for it. And then it'll go like that, and as you can see, the flow is pointing forward, and from there this will connect up into the transmission nipple that feeds the sprayer, and then I've got to run the wiring and so on and so forth. So I have a metric ton of things to do to get Frankenstein completely the way I want him. I still have to, oh my goodness, I have to take care of that. I still have to wire the bank shift billy up, and before I even do that, I need to order a Tilton adjustable throwout bearing because I want the adjustability. I'm gonna put the ram clutch back in it, and I'm gonna make that work. That's why I'm going with the Tilton. It didn't work out with the stock clutch. It was grabbing too high in the travel for my two-step switch. I figured that out after breaking expensive drive shaft and damaging my engine a second time. But that's part of the game that we play. So I don't know. This is a little rant, trying to keep you guys informed as to what's going on. I'm trying to post a lot more. Rocky Mountain Race Week was so much fun, and it let me realize that I need to get my content out there way more. I need to do more for you guys. The loyal followers, the Erics, the Hard Rock Vermont, the Mike Hausers, all of the loyal guys out there that comment and encourage me to keep going. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm sure there's some other loyal followers that I just missed your name, and I apologize for that. It was not intentional. It's just those three have been commenting for the last 2 to 3 months every day, either on my IG or my YouTube when I post up a video, and they've been very encouraging. And it's really a good feeling to know that people like what you're doing, because honestly, I don't know if you guys like what I'm doing. I don't know if you guys are learning from this. I just like sharing my knowledge of the Hemi platform, and I like keeping this platform alive. We all know how I feel about Stellantis and what they're trying to do. So I'm doing my best to counter that and provide information. With that said, that's going to do it for this one. 3-Paddle J saying, rev it up, grab a gear. No, that's not right. Rev it up, dump the clutch, grab a gear, disappear. Peace.